Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to face Brewer's House Party.
And a very good afternoon. It goes deathly quiet. I am wearing my badge. Can you see it, everyone? Because I've had my injection. Yes, me. Abigail Seegers very quickly says, hey, she's got some friends who've actually, like Molly and Harry, have all coming on saying hello. Harry, good afternoon from Lynn Hawker. Dan, hello to you. Linda Much, Christine Sutcliffe, darling. Nice to see you. Ian Wall, Darren Butterfield, lots of people coming on. Beth, hello, Beth. Very good afternoon to you. And Carol Patience in her new house. And must be working. Jean Fogarty, Honey Harrison, hello there. Tony Thomas, flying in. People all flying. Nicole, I can't actually keep up with all of you. But a great big welcome. How do I look? Do I look rough? Actually, you know, I'm not saying that before you actually already throw in the insults about, oh, I look. But my arm is feeling like lead today. I woke up this morning going, oh, God, that hurts today. Never hurt yesterday, but today. But I'm wearing my badge with proud because that's what they give you, a badge. It wasn't this shirt, by the way. I had to change it. It wasn't. And it's all happening in the flash. It all happens with flash. Sally Moran has quickly come on. Stuart's on. Susan, hello there to all of you. Linda Much. Yes, Linda, thank you. Surely you're not talking about me. You look gorgeous. Paul Sims, to you all, a very good afternoon. It's another Friday. In fact, this is going to be our last Friday while I'm saying that. We're going to do some Mondays, but we're going to say, hello, Jacko. We've not had you on yet, and so is the beer. You're retiring soon, Jacko. Retiring, mate. I mean, you probably already have. Philip Wright, hello, mate. Good afternoon, sugar lips. What a lovely thought. What a lovely thought. Let's say hello, Tina Still, to some people who are coming on the show who probably don't know what's going on. One person is Jack Jenkins. Jack Jenkins, know what's going on, Mark. Look at you. You look a bit brighter, Jack. You've opened up because you've probably done that for Abigail or Christine or Lynn or whoever you've done that for, but you've opened up your shirt. Jack, nice to see you back.
See you, Mark. How are you?
Happy Friday to you, mate. Hope you have a nice weekend.
I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be talking to you very shortly. And we've also, hi, Lorraine Holt. I just got back time for my first injection. Me too. Well done, Lorraine. Do your shirt up, Jacko's saying. Jack Jenkins, hi from Heather. So lots of people coming on. Let's also say hello to two wonderful people who are coming to join us. Martin Ruby and Martin.
Hello, mate. How are you?
How are you, mate?
I'm good. I tell you, you must have had the same injection as me.
Why?
Ooh, those ugly ones work really well, don't they?
Martin, you're always an old mate who loves to throw in the insult, but I actually, you've had your injection as well, haven't you?
I had mine too last Tuesday, so that means I am officially uglier than you. Yes.
Well, I'm glad that is. Let's celebrate the end of the homeschooling. Well done to all the children, parents, teachers from Karen Lyons who's saying that. Also, you've got a mate on board today who actually knows more than anybody in the country about stage management. Am I right?
Yeah. Andrew Speed, yes. I mean, lovingly known as Speedy. And I worked with him on One Man, Two Governors and got some great stories. The first time I met Speedy, I was at the Theatre Royal Haymarket, and he come running around the corner, and he said, because I was standing at the backstage door, and he said, "Oh, the Queen and Prince Philip are loving the show," and I'm thinking, "Who's this guy?" Anyway, I realised who he was later, that he was the company manager, and he takes all the VIPs and looks after them. And this particular night, he took the Queen and Prince Philip to the dress circle to watch the show. Great. And also he brought Liza Minnelli backstage as well when we met Liza Minnelli. But he's a lovely guy. He's got some great stories, mate. Fantastic.
So let's have a quick hello to Andy Speedy then. Speed, Andrew, how are you, mate?
Hello. All the way from Purley. My jab's on Sunday, 2:20.
What, are you younger than me then?
Well, I don't. Yeah, definitely. It's just a hair. It's a lot down
Big
here.
hair. Well,
I look
it's
about 12. Look, when it comes off.
yeah, oh, of course. You look so much younger when you pull your ponytail. Andrew, it's lovely to meet you. We will talk to you a little bit later, but I hope you and Martin can conflab in about 5 minutes or so. I'll be back with you. Andrew, lovely to see you. And Jack, let's say a very brief hello to the first person who always says hello. If you noticed it, it said Abigail, and we promised Abigail she could be on the show as well. She's already here. Let's say hi to Abigail.
Hi.
How are you, Abs?
I'm good, thank you.
You are #1 fan from Potters to me to Johnny. You come on, you're always there first. So a big thank you for being our superstar.
The top fan, isn't it, Mark? Top fan, always there. Even today, when you're on it, you were the first person to comment.
Only you could. But you've got some friends looking in. I saw there were some names I never recognised. I went immediately, that's got to be your friends. Is it someone called Harry and Molly?
Yeah, Harry's my brother and Molly's my friend.
Wow. So you've told them that you was going to come on and you made them. They're saying, who the hell's this guy? And let alone Jack has opened up his shirt there. I hope Molly likes that. I don't know. I don't. So your mum is a big fan as well. So let's say big thank you. We have got some questions for you later, Abigail. I just wanted to make sure that you had a quick hello there to say that you are one of our guests today, one of our stars. So I will be talking to you a little bit more seriously. So from Jack and Abigail, I'm going to say goodbye to you for 5 minutes. So there we go. Cheers, Jack, and you, mate. Come back. So we do have some birthdays. That's why I wanted to quickly get them out of the way. Lots again, like you said, how many this time? Well, it's nearly 3 or 4 days of birthdays, and that's why we get people send photos and other people say, can you wish happy birthday? If I miss it, sometimes it comes up on the screen and Nigel will spot it if we can. So let's have a look at some birthdays. It's only Lynn Smith. There's Martin there, Jemsy there. And Lynn Smith, a big happy birthday. These are going back. These are properly old guests, they are. Martin's a great footballer as well. It's only Alex, one of our superstars in the days of our Potters Theatre Company. Tremendous singer, tremendous dancer. That's Alex Murray. Happy birthday to you. Michelle White. But oh, look, there's Michael and the kids. How are we? Paige and Oliver. And hello, a big happy birthday to Denise. Denise Charter, happy birthday to you. And who else? We've got, it's only the Rivets. We've got Ange Rivet's birthday. And I think we've got another birthday, haven't we? I think Chloe J. Swift, happy birthday. It's Luke Swift's birthday. That's it. It's with his family there with Chloe. Peter Archer, happy birthday, mate. Very cool there, mate. Jeff Stevenson, comic and actor. Jeff Stevenson, big happy birthday to you. Lawrence Fade, that's part of the whole connection there. Jim Fraser's son there. Lawrence's birthday. Della Dark, I had to go back 5 years to get a nice picture of you, Del. That's what I'm saying. Beautiful picture of you. Della Dark, happy birthday to you. David Moore, a big happy birthday to you as well. I think we've almost covered. Look, and that's Luke. Happy birthday to you, mate. Happy birthday to you. Got his car, not his lovely car. So that's all the birthdays. There are lots of birthdays, but you know, we try and catch up with all of them. Right, so let's talk to Martin Ruby briefly as introducers. And how are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Great. Good to be back on. So you want to talk about Andrew Speed then? Lovely guy, yeah?
Yeah.
So
again, you did a good enough intro anyway, didn't you?
But basically, when I worked at One Man Two Governors, I came into the Theatre Royal Haymarket, but prior to that, it was at the Adelphi. And Speedy was the company manager at the Adelphi and came across to the Haymarket, and then that's when James Corden, as I said earlier, was taking it to Broadway. So Speedy would have been company manager to James Corden and stuff, and then he came in at the Theatre Royal Haymarket and took over. And as I say, I mean, I never knew who he was at first, and one day I was standing at the stage door, and he come running around and said, "Oh, the Queen and Prince Philip are loving the show." And I thought, who's this guy? And then later to realise he's the company manager, and if any VIP comes into the show, he looks after them. But the stuff he's done in theatre is incredible. So, like, I mean, he has some great stories to tell. He's a lovely guy, and what a great company manager he was. He was lovely.
Let's bring him on then, Martin, and we'll say goodbye to you. Hello there, Andrew.
How you doing?
And of course, Speedy to your friends.
Absolutely.
And you are really one of the best and the top stage management control. You actually know more about anything. You even put it onto a YouTube to explain it, of how important a stage manager is. We know we've got a theatre's role. We know how important we rely on that speed, everything coming on, everything arriving, and it gets even more difficult backstage. But Martin said introduced saying that you brought the Queen and Prince Philip. I mean, how did the people not know them?
Well, I mean, they went through front of house. I mean, so people, they arrive, the royals always come as late as possible, but in time, they're not like Madonna, who always turns up 10 minutes after it's gone up and tries, sorry, Madonna. But, they turn up, and then you try and get them in with as least hassle as possible. Philip actually, Prince Philip hadn't been very well at that stage, and there was talk of him not coming, but when he turned up, he was in great health. And we sort of saw them in, and Sir Nicholas Heitner of the National was in the foyer to greet them. He came over. And in fact, he was taking the mick out of me the following day in the 4th floor office. And he was going, every time the Queen came round the corner, there was Speedy and his DJ going, Your Highness? Your Highness? Which, of course, wasn't true. But he must have told that story 5 or 6 times in my head. In 24 minutes. Speedy, show them your bow. But anyway, interestingly, we put them in, and there's a bit in the show where Princess Margaret gets name checked. One of the guys said, "Oh, it's a rough place, criminals, hooligans, Princess Margaret," and so we all knew this was coming up, and everybody's on stage just staring at the Queen and Prince Philip, and at that moment she just looked just like a postage stamp, but Prince Philip roared with laughter, so we knew we got away with that one. But anyway, she's not a great theatre goer. She loved Warhorse because, and of course, on her Jubilee, that terrible wet day when she went down on the barge, one of the only smiles they got out of her was when Joey reared up on the fly tower at the National, and we got a little wave and a smile from her that day. But she really came out elated. She really enjoyed that show, which was great because she's had to sit through an awful lot in the past, and I don't think she's a great. She likes her horses.
Well, yeah, she definitely does, and so she must have come. They must have come in disguise then. I mean, how? To not really notice them, they would have to come in disguise. I mean, do they actually?
No. She was, they were both obviously impeccably dressed. In fact, Prince Charles had seen it at the other theatre when Corden was in it, and we had the CPO, the Close Protection Officers, come in and go over the place, and we were slipping them into the Royal Circle about 2 rows back, and you have to time it. You have the house lights. You just stop the house lights going out, and then you slip them in. So as soon as they hit their bums on the seats, you can start the show. That's so as fewer people as possible can see them. And we were just ready to go, and a member of the public strayed into the corridor, which we had clear of seats to get him in. And although we'd given the go, I sort of said, "Hold house lights," and I said, "Sorry, Your Majesty, you'll have to wait." And he was absolutely fine. Yeah. But the person he was with was like, "Oh, Charles, why are we waiting?" So Charles turned around and went, "Yes, why are we waiting?" And I thought, the bang goes my night. But anyway, the CPO guy got this woman out of the way, and we went house lights. And one of the CPO guys turned to me and went, "Who was getting it in the neck there?" And I went, "I think you'll find it was me." He went, "Don't worry. I won't. I've had worse from lots."
Well, I mean, you must have done. I mean, company manager. I mean, what's the actual role as a company manager? We know what SM and stage managers do and assistants, right. But what's the company manager?
The company manager does a lot more of the administration. I mean, I prefer to be a CSM, a company stage manager. That way, I'm still actually hands-on with the play. I find that if you're in an office, just sort of pushing paperwork and then just going and checking on the show and then meeting all the VIPs and making sure they've got a drink at the interval and they're all okay. I mean, sometimes obviously sneaking them in and sneaking them out. I don't know. I much prefer the stage manager side. I mean, I enjoy the smoozing. I mean, anyone would, and that comes naturally to me. But actually, the show is the thing for me. I just, I started off as a stagehand down at Chichester, trying to get my equity card, and I sort of I did a panto down there with Spike Milligan, and that was amazing. I think it was the first time he'd ever done panto. I'll tell you how long ago it was. Him and Bill Pertwee were running around. That was a good robber and the bad robber. Bill Pertwee was the bad robber. And they're charging around looking for the kids because the kids are hiding from them, baiting the wood. And he gets to his chest and he opens it. It's in the tech. It's not scripted. He goes, "Oh, Lord, look at them. They're looking for you." And, of course, stopped the track, dead in its track. And, of course, it stayed in. But, so I did that. Then I did a season down there. And then we went out on a thing called the Scarlet Pimpernel, which Nicholas Heitner was directing. And Chris Bush Bailey was one of the main men for Triumph Apollo Productions. And he said, "Look, we'll try and get you cards if you come out on this." Well, at the end of the contract, we didn't get cards. But he said, "Look, we owe you." And as soon as he could, he was good to his word. And I went across and worked at the Theatre Royal, actually, Haymarket. I was a daemon over there for a while. And then ultimately I got the call, "You're doing panto." I went and did panto, ASM understudy, and did that a couple of years, went and did some rep, and then toured for 5 years, just #1 touring all around the country. Then I went to Keswick in the Lake District. That was a great gig. I mean, 8:15 curtain up, can't be a terribly long show because people have to be in bed to get up, go bell walking. So did there, and then luckily I just wrote to the National at the right time. I went up there and I did 30 years there. Finished on the 31st of December last year.
That is an incredible thing to I mean, you must have met so many, famous actors, and I mean, the famous, as big as they come.
It's interesting because the people who float my boat are the writers. I get terribly excited. Meeting Arthur Miller, just amazing. I met him several times. We did, what did we do? Death of a Salesman with him, and he came over. And that's just brilliant, hearing him note and just meeting the guy. And every time he came and did a platform performance where they come and talk to the public, I always looked after the writers. So, I worked with Pinter and Miller and Hare and Stoppard. Had done, I think, 7 world premieres of Tom Stoppard plays. Absolutely great. But, the actors, well, they're legion. I mean, a load of kids when I did One Man, Two Guns, History Boys for 4 years. So I went every single cast of the History Boys in its original production. I did. So that was great. Working with Alan Bennett, obviously amazing man to work with. But obviously that first lot, and it was a finishing school for young actors. You had Corden and you had Dominic Cooper and you had Tovey, and I mean, and then when that whole lot went, I mean, you had new people. So people like Smith, who went on to be Doctor Who. If I noticed there was a big Doctor Who link with the History Boys. You had the Cyberman who fell in love with Coleman. I've forgotten. And he died. He had to die, so it wasn't the Cyberman. He was a History Boy. We had a Doctor who was a History Boy, and the current Master, Sasha, was a History Boy. So that was good.
Would you say that there was many divas amongst it all? I mean, everyone's got their egos. I mean, you as a company manager have to be the person who calms everyone down and looks after them, and you must know the problems that people have, and you probably role is important.
Speedy's a diva.
The whole pastoral care is really important, and there can be some difficult customers. I mean, and I think, at least I've had a little taste of it. Back in my dim past, I did go on as an understudy on panto and a couple of plays, so I know what they go through. And although people, that if they play up how difficult it is, to do it really well, it's very difficult. They go out there and bare their souls, and it's up to us to sort of smooth the path a bit. And yeah, some of them can be difficult, but you know, on the whole, you take people as you. I mean, I heard terrible things about an actor, but I'm not. I don't listen to what other people say. It's how they react with me. And we had a ball. We had an absolute ball on that show. No hint of all the divishness I'd heard of from the West End. He came over to the National, behaved impeccably, and you know, and it's interesting because I know people who really dislike certain actors, and you go, I think they're great. I had no problem with them. Yeah, they can get a bit. You know what? They want the best. They want to give the best performance. They want the audience to have the best experience. And if that means kicking a bit of ass, they will do it.
I know. I totally agree, Martin. I've shouted at you many times. Let's not tell you.
Yeah, many times I've had a rollicking, mate. Many times.
Because Martin was our only tech person, the one and only tech person we had in the early days. So he had to worry about the spotlight, the light, the sound.
Was there really any need that time to blow me up?
Well,
really?
Well, that was the end of the season, and I'm sure even Andy, you must have had final nights where people play about with the script or play about with props or anything. You must have, but we always did it at the end of when it was the last week of the season. Any show, this was the last show. Anything could happen to the artist or the person singing, performer. Let alone Martin had to press a switch that we used to blow up this dog on stage in a comedy Elvis sketch as you're singing Old Shep and the dog gets blown up. What Martin didn't realise that we actually put the bomb inside his lighting box, which isn't very big, was it, Martin? I mean, it wasn't very.
It wasn't very big, and then I spent the whole night at the local hospital with a burst eardrum. I've been with anyone else.
Every time he put his head down, he was bleeding. So yeah,
unbelievable.
Yes, but it was a long time ago, Martin. And
it was funny. It was very funny. But
that's what Keith Moon did. That didn't he? Was it the Ed Sullivan Show to Pete Townsend? Pete always said he burst his eardrum. He put these cherry bombs when they knock over their equipment at the end of it. Yeah. I think it was the Ed Sullivan Show. Anyway, he really got loads of cherry bombs loaded, and it is. I mean, you can watch it on YouTube. But Pete says he's deaf in one ear because of that.
Yeah.
But standing on stage with them, you'll be deaf anyway.
And for those who are totally unaware, that Peter, you had the Hyde Park concert with Quadrophenia with the Who, and that must have been an incredible feeling and sound.
That is extraordinary, and there are 140,000 people there. We rehearsed at Bray Studio. Interestingly, Roger had been. Now, Bill Curbishley was the manager of the Who then. He's Alan Curbishley, the football managers. It's his brother. And he'd been the manager of the Who for some time. And I believe Roger had been on the phone going, we've got to get the Who back together. We've got to get the Who back together. And Bill would phone Pete, and Pete would go, no, the Who died. When Keith died, we carried on, but it wasn't the same. The Who died with Keith. But they conned him into doing Quadrophenia. They called it the music of Entwistle, Daltrey and Townsend play Quadrophenia, right? They got Zach Starkey on drums. What a drummer Zach is. The son of Ringo. Amazing drummer. And we had loads of guests. We had Dave Gilmour from Floyd come on and do a bit. We had Gary Glitter. We had all sorts. In fact, Trevor McDonald. Hello, I've gone very small. Oh, there we go. Look at it. Trevor McDonald was on it as well. And I remember going up to Trevor, he wasn't Sir then, and saying, Trevor, look, your bit's right at the beginning of the gig. It's sort of 80 minutes long. Do you want your car to wait and then it can take you home and you don't have to wait for the whole thing? But we do have a place in the curtain call. And he went, my dear fellow, you don't get a curtain call as a newsreader. I would be delighted to stay. And there was, before the gig, there was Aid Edmondson. Was it? I think it was Stephen Fry trying to get Trevor McDonald drunk or wine. Have another one. No, it'll calm the nerves. And Trevor looking at me. Okay. No, don't do that. But anyway, it was a successful, so successful. We took it over to Madison Square Gardens and we played a few nights over there, 6 or 7, and then it went on a tour. And by that time, it was the Who again. They convinced Pete. But there's a very funny story about the dress rehearsal. It was on stage in the pouring rain at Hyde Park, empty, a huge, great sort of empty space, rain lashing down, and we were running through it. And Daltrey is famous for his microphone spinning, always spinning the microphone around his head, throwing it out, pulling it back. And Gary Glitter was playing the sort of the rocker. And he said, oh, yeah, well, I think I'll spin my microphone stand. So they go, all right, yeah, let's do that. So the rain's pouring down and Roger's swinging his mic and Gary is swinging his microphone stand. And they had a sort of face off. And Gary got too close and caught Roger in the eye with the microphone stand. Whack. Now, Roger went down unconscious, bang, and then started sort of shaking. And I thought, get a medic, somebody get a medic. And of course, the band, it's like a super tank to stop a massive rock band that's playing. So it went, and I went, get a medic, someone get a medic. And no one moved. I went, I'll go and get a medic then. And I ran across the stage, massive stage, down through the backlot, massive backlot. Now, of course, it's the day before the festival.
Yeah.
On the festival day, there'd have been ambulances everywhere and people. Yeah. Well, I run around and finally found the Little St. John's ambulance place, funny little caravan. And in it is a boy of about 19 and a girl of about 20. I went, medic on stage, medic on stage. And he went, I'll just get my bag. I said, no, now, come on. And I picked up his bag and I dragged him, ran him back up onto stage there. And by this time, Roger has stopped convulsing and he's lying on his back and everyone's there. Townsend's over him, Bill's over him, all the band are standing around, and this boy bends down and he says, hello, what is your name? And through one broken eye socket and the other eye open, he goes, it's bleeding Mick Jagger, innit? And Bill Curbishley goes, Roger Daltrey comes round, ego intact.
Oh,
and that's why he's wearing that.
No, I mean, that's unbelievable. Funny enough, I watched it and I went, what? And then you've told us the story about that. That's incredible. I was really thinking, why is he wearing an eye patch? Well, that's
well, we didn't know he was going to make the gig. He went for a brain scan on the morning of the gig. I think we were on about 6 o'clock, and it was a big setup. And I know, what was his name? Harvey Goldsmith? What was his name? Harvey Goldsmith or Goldstein? Goldsmith, I think. And he was pushing the keyboardist of, what's his name? Jules Holland. Jules Holland introduced them. And and he's going, yeah, you can go. And I'm going, I'm the stage manager. We're not quite there. By that time, Jules was on introducing them. Like, oh, we'll just have to go, guys. And we went. And there was a mock-up with a piano that was meant to sink and a bike meant to come up, a scooter. Didn't say a bike. But apart from that was a bit naughty, bit bad actually. But we got away with that. And it seemed to go well. And there we are.
Yeah, an incredible atmosphere anyway. I mean, when you've got that sort of, I mean, do you imagine we're ever going to have those sort of festivals like that again? I doubt it. We probably won't, but still to be part of that.
I mean, ultimately that will come back. But, I mean, they're selling tickets for Reading already. I think that's a bit premature. But in fact, my daughter's just got tickets for Green Day and Weezer and I don't know, some other band that she likes. Sometime in June, and I thought, well, don't hold your breath, but we'll see.
So, I mean, it's high pressure, isn't it? Because you're the one that they're gonna blame if something goes wrong. I mean,
that absolutely goes with the territory. The buck stops here, and I mean, even if the crew have screwed up, the actor comes into the wings, and the person he tends to bump into first is you. in the corner,
Yeah.
and you have to get in with the apology first, and then say, we know what went wrong, it won't happen again. What they want to hear is what is going to happen in the future. You've got to let go of that awful moment. So, you know, guns are a terrible thing on stage because the little jam, you know. Oh, hello. Yeah. There you go. That's me test firing a gun for what was that? That was Antony and Cleopatra backstage in the Ollie. Now, I used to meet Ray Fiennes before the show, and I would have 5 guns, and I would load 5 guns, and he would choose 3 of the 5 loaded guns. He would then fire 3 of them, and then decide which one he wanted to use on the show that night. Because that way, one is displaying the care about giving the prop that is currently working. You also, when you get a fail, that gun goes west, down to the armor. Maybe he fixes it, maybe it just gets melted down. And you know, and in fact, at one stage he went, you know what, Speedy, you'll make a very good Q. I went, yeah, could you tell her? Tell Mrs. Broccoli, I'd love to do Q. But there you go. Oh, look, you've done your homework.
I just found something fun. But with all those incredible shows, have you got a favourite?
There are about 5. I mean, obviously the History Boys, fantastic. 4 years of my life.
You did a world tour with that, didn't you, as well? Didn't you? Or
yeah, but also, you know, One Man, Two Governors, amazing, absolutely amazing fun. I really loved a play called, well, I loved Arcadia by Tom Stoppard. I just kicked my stand. Arcadia by Tom Stoppard, amazing. The David Hare Racing Demon, which I actually never did the first rehearsal for. I only did it when it was in the Ollie and British tours, and then we did the trilogy. I enjoyed that. And also Pitman Painters from Live in Newcastle. What a phenomenal show that was. Yeah. But, you know, you never know. I mean, I finished 4 years on the History Boys, thought, oh, God, it's never going to be this good again. And then, hey-ho, the following week I'm in Newcastle watching this play and going, Pitman Painters, going, I'm pinching myself, going, I must be the luckiest boy in equity. But, you know, amazing times. I mean, up there is Hedda Gabler with the lovely Ruth Wilson, and who is just an amazing, one of the absolute best acting souls in the world. I mean, Judi Dench, amazing. Maggie Smith, amazing. I mean, I never worked with him, but Ian McKellen I always liked. And yeah, there's so many of the great actors, and the young ones coming up. You know, it's extraordinary how the theatre just regenerates itself. You know, with great talent coming up all the time. And what's interesting is working with someone who you go, oh, they're all right, and then the next minute they're a superstar, just because the right part came at the right time and they had the talent to take it. And then, you know, I mean, Martin Freeman, I mean, they wrote, when he really made it, Martin, they sort of said, oh, they turned it into a rags to riches story. But he'd been on the Olivier stage in quite a good role with Mother Courage.
Yeah. I mean, I had a chat to Martin the other week, and you had Siobhan Harrison, who was behind the scenes as stage crew. And Martin brought up the fact that this is someone who actually did 2 years behind the scenes, who then suddenly got From Here to Eternity. Her face was on all the pictures and all the tunnel. And suddenly she's going...
But one thing we must say here, which is important, because, you know, X Factor and all those things, you know, they perpetrate this, and I'm afraid it's mainly a myth, that you can go from hero to zero. The ones who go from hero to zero have put in the 10,000 hours. Do you know what I mean? Siobhan was, I can't say her name now. A great talent anyway. And, you know, she just needed to walk through that door, and they went, I mean, she had done stuff before that, but she you know, she went to huge after that, and she's a hugely talented woman, great singer, great actress, and, you know, my hat's off to her. But when
Yeah.
she wasn't, getting the job she deserved, she would go and grab backstage. I mean, I know the MD, the composer on One Man, said to me, there she is. He said to me, what's Siobhan Harrison doing backstage on the show? I mean, is she someone's friend? I'm going, no, she's working on the show. And he was like, wow, and then bam, she took off. I mean, he knew of her.
Yeah.
But she really, really, it's fantastic.
Has there been anyone else that's actually been part of the crew that just loved the visit being there, and so they took it up and just to get a job, and then found themselves later on in life a star? I mean, as you rightly said, that you've seen youngsters become big stars. And
well, if you want to look for the stars, I think on the whole, look at front of house. A lot of drama students. So whoever's tearing your ticket, be nice to them, because you'll be paying a lot of money to see them in years to come. Because the drama students will always need some more money, and they used to get jobs doing front of house. Selling the ice cream, tearing the tickets, ushering, etc., etc. So quite often, I know loads of people who did that.
So, and just before you go, I mean, obviously, I've got a couple of little videos that I'm not going to show all of them. One, I'll definitely show all of them, because you did a wind up on your crew. Obviously, in lockdown, you was thinking, what shall I do? And you actually got hold of some of your crew to say, I need an SM to do a shout out. I think the video reveals it all anyway, so I won't explain anymore. I'm just going to ask Nigel if he could play this one little video that just shows you exactly what you're like with your friends, and they are one big family. So I'm going to ask if Nigel can find that.
Hi gang, I had a call from NT Live. They want someone to do the half-hour call for Anthony and Cleopatra. Anyone want to do it? You can't all do it. You can't have 4 half-hour calls. I'll tell you what, all record them, we'll send them in, and then they can choose the best. Yeah? Is that all right? Okay, all send me your calls. Bye.
Olivier Theatre, Anthony and Cleopatra Company.
Anthony and Cleopatra Company. This is your half-hour call.
This is the half-hour call.
This is your half-hour call. Half an hour, please.
Gang, I've got some bad news. They're going with someone else.
Anthony and Cleopatra Company, this is your half-hour call.
I mean, you imagine they're all probably thinking, oh, that's great, we're all trying it, and then you've wound them all up, and it's Sir Ralph Ames actually doing it for you. And that just shows you've got some very powerful friends, and some really good friends who actually would just ring up and say, Ralph, will you actually do this for me? And it's lovely humour. I love that in you, Andrew.
I was very, very lucky to work with some amazing people. And although I'm old and grey now, I'm not giving up. I've got a project. I'm in rehearsals again next week for 2 more weeks in the East End of London. Then we have another 3 weeks off because this particular person, the one-person show, has to do some filming. Then we're going to go to a theatre. We're going to tech it for a week and even play it to empty auditorium just to get it up and ready. And then we're going to go back to this theatre and we're going to start playing it on, I think, 24th of May. Yeah, 24th of May. I think 25th is the opening night. 24th will be another dress rehearsal. But all that's going to be announced with an interview with this famous person on Newsnight sometime in the middle of March. And I phoned the producers and said, could I announce it? And they went, no way. So that's a teaser.
You've given us a little bit of a hint, Andy, and I appreciate that you've got something big coming up. And all I can say is, if anybody would like to get into the business, you do a lovely little video of what it's like to be a stage manager, what's the importance of it. And you can, I'm going to show a little clip of it if I can, just to say the fact that, because there could be anyone watching going like, that's something that I've always wanted to do and don't realise that it can happen. And if you do want to look at it, then please look up on the YouTube. It's a YouTube clip. So have a little look at this if we can. It won't be too long on it, Andrew, because obviously I'm running out of time.
Hello, I'm Andrew Speed. I'm a stage manager at the National. Stage management really is a facilitating part of the theatre. In rehearsal, we would usually be in an hour before. If there's a scene that's going to be rehearsed, we will set that up. When the actors come in, we'll check that they're there and we'll start rehearsal. We will make the tea, hand it around. We will make up a thing called a scene breakdown, where you read through the play and each scene is broken into its constituent parts, so you know exactly which actors are in each bit. We become the conduit which information flows out of the rehearsal room to all the myriad of departments: costume, wigs, hair and makeup, that's just one department, props, lighting, sound. Every little nuance in the piece that needs to be realised on stage, that information is quite often discovered in the rehearsal room, in the rehearsal, and that information then has to be spread around the whole organisation. Once rehearsal...
It's fascinating, and it's really important. If anybody would like to get into that sort of business, please put in that. What do you have to look out for? I mean, we'll show it out in Brewer's House Party, the actual clip that you can actually link up to. But it's fantastic, Andy. It's been lovely talking to you. I'm supposed to talk to Martin as well, but Martin, you're running out of time, Martin. I might have to...
No, I don't mind. I could listen to Speedy all day, mate. I love him. It's great.
Lovely to see you, Martin. You take care, matey.
Lovely to see you, mate. Take care. And let's hope
that this nonsense is over. I'll come and visit.
Yeah, definitely. And let's hope that the Hammers finish above the Blues.
Not Chelsea.
Oh, God.
They're Robert Snell, Andrew. Ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you. Andrew Speed, thank you very much, Andrew. Pleasure, been wonderful talking to you. Martin, I'm going to try and speak to Abigail as well. So
that's good, because I need to pop to the loo.
Yes, I bet you do. I'll bring you back just as we end. Martin's coming back to us. Let's quickly talk to Abigail and Jack. Where's Abigail? And Jack. So, Abigail, thank you for... I bet you're sitting there going, like, he's not going to bring me on. He's not going to bring me on. How interesting, Mary Roberts. Yes, that was very... It really was. When you get someone who's big as that in stage management, and you forget who they know, who they meet, Jack. Do you not sometimes feel that's what you should have done, Jack?
Stage management. I can barely manage on stage, let alone stage management.
I know. And what about you, Abigail? What have you been up to as a 12? Are you 12?
Yeah, I'm 12.
When will you be 13?
31st of March.
It's a long month then, babe. It's coming, and then you're going to be that teenager.
Yeah.
And we have to thank you, of course, for coming on and watching everything. And we thought what would be is a challenge, Abigail, to one or two questions to see if you would, because you've been always watching most of our social media from Potter's Live and myself, and Nigel's put some questions with Jack, and they put these questions to see if you would be able to answer them. So, Abigail, I'm going to ask Jack to read out. He knows the answers. I might not even know these. Heather is saying, hi, Abigail.
Hi.
He said, are these your family?
Heather's not.
You've got quite a big family, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that you have, and I've seen you to come down to join us. Mum's downstairs watching you, is she? Jessica, oh, come on, Abigail. Bless. Thank you, Jess. So here we go. Jack?
Yes. So you are, potentially our top fan here at Brewer's House Party and across Facebook as well. So we've got some questions to quickfire and test you out. Should we go? Are you ready?
Yeah.
So quickfire. The first one. Which Potter's entertainer has shown his bum many times during lockdown?
Busby.
Yes.
Correct. What is the name of the ex-football manager and king of the jungle who recently joined Mark on his house party?
Harry Redknapp.
Yes.
Right. What 2 days of the week has Mark Brewer's house party been on?
Monday and Friday.
Correct. What is the title of the quiz Mark tests guests on at the end of each house party?
Oh, come on, Ab.
The quiz.
Family.
It's on TV as well, hosted by Gino DeCampo.
Family Fortunes.
Yes. We cheated.
Who has been sharing piglet pictures? There we go, with us on our live streams.
You,
Which
Jack.
one? Yes, it is me. Last night, Nigel opened Throwback Thursday with a clip of Boogie Wonderland, who is the Potters legend and singer in the Afro wig. Did you watch it?
I think so.
Who is Sean? Correct. You've got it. Yeah. What football team does Mark support?
West Ham.
Yes. And the last question: Potters Resort recently celebrated what milestone? How many years?
10.
How many years? Not 10, Divvy. That's not a milestone, is it? 10.
You're showing 10, Mark.
Well, I mean, you did the 3 noughts up, the other nought.
You didn't help there, Mark. You didn't help. It was going so well, Abigail. You got.
I think she didn't get the 100th one.
That was it. But 7.5 out of 8 is not too bad.
And actually, we've got a lovely prize for you. And Jack is going to send over a piglet.
Piglet in the post.
Just for your mum and you to feed and look after, and that's the gift you're giving. Is that what you're doing, Jack?
I think so. Yeah. Then we'll post a picture.
We're going to make sure we send you a little thank you for that, Abigail. How's homeschooling?
Yes, all right. It's been fine.
Do you actually ask Lorraine, your mum? Do you actually ask her for any help, or because I know when my kids asked me for my help when they were in the higher school, I just didn't have a clue. I mean, I could teach the little ones how to add up and read and write. But when it came to the older high school, I did not have a clue when it came to the kids. What about your mum?
She's helped with a few things like artwork and stuff like that.
That don't count, does it? Artwork? What,
Well, that's it, really.
I know. Well, look, we've got to say a big thank you, Abigail, for coming on the show. I hope you've liked being part of this. And thank you to Jack and to Nigel. And we will get your address. I'm sure we've already got it, actually. And make sure you get a little surprise before the lockdown ends. Now, I can't guarantee it because I was trying to get mugs done. The Brewer's House Party to give everybody a mug. Never had chance because we shut down the facility at Potters, didn't we, Jack?
We did. I had some Jack Chat mugs that were meant to be made. Never.
But we'll definitely get you something. And everyone's sort of saying, well done. Some applauding, saying, well done, Abigail. Lol, she want to pick them both. No, thank you, Heather. Maureen Andrews, well done. She got them all. Well done. Christine Sutcliffe, lovely to see you. Lynn Ange. And baking and knitting. We never get. Do you knit, Abigail?
No, but my nan does.
Well, can you, Jack? You never started.
I mean, I looked into
One
it.
challenge.
I'll have a look. Yeah, we'll see.
Can you be ready for Monday with a knitting plan?
Possibly. Monday, I'm away. So I'm doing some more. I know, it sounds ridiculous. During this thing, I had a phone call. I'm doing some more TV extra work next week, and I have to go into quarantine. I have to spend 3 days locked in a hotel, and Monday will be one of those days. So I'll be coming. Yeah.
So will you be doing it from the hotel then?
If there's good enough Wi-Fi, which hopefully there is.
We might not see you, and one person will definitely see you. It'll be Abigail, who'll be first one on to say hello to us all. Abigail, thanks for coming on, babe. Give my love to all the family, and thank you, friends, for coming on to watch you. I mean, how cool is that? You got your mates on, brilliant, Harry and Molly. Jack, thank you so much. Jessica certainly said, well done to Abigail. And I'm going to bring back Martin Ruby to finish this conversation off. So, Martin, I know. Well, Andrew spoke so much, and he was so. I didn't want to stop.
No, don't. Yeah, I mean, he's got some great stories, and I love working with him. I can listen to him all day. Do you know what I mean? He's fabulous. Do you know what I mean, Andrew?
And you left us, Martin. When you left us, you went to the London. You didn't go straight to the West End. And what?
But when I left, I worked for an agency doing some crewing work, and basically they used to put crew in like big venues like London Arena as was, and Wembley Arena. And the first crew job I did was the Bob the Builder, believe it or not. And so basically we used to go in and put the shows in and take the shows out, and so I did that for a while. Then I did the Pop Idol tour with Will Young and Gareth Gates at London Arena and Wembley Arena. Then I did the Queen's Jubilee 2002. Did that for that was on that for a week, and then I got some crew work at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
Doing some stage crew work. And one of the best things I did at the Albert Hall was the National TV Awards. I had to follow spot Trevor McDonald. And they said to me, have you done a follow spot before? I went, well, yeah, but don't worry too much because he don't move too far. He stays at the podium. So all you got to do is fade on and fade off of Trevor McDonald as he introduced. So I did that, and that was it. But the only thing with that work was you was on call, so you could go in at like 10 o'clock at night and work all the way through the night. So, and I weren't really keen on that. So I thought to myself, I'll try and get in the West End. And I can remember someone said to me, "Oh, you won't get in the West End." I said, I'm going to try. So over the space of 4 weeks, what I did the first week, I couldn't do it now. I'd die. I walked around every single West End theatre stage door, and I put my CV into every stage door. Yeah. The second week, I went round, I chased it up, and they said to me, well, if there's anything, they'll call you back or whatever. And no worries. So you got fobbed off a little bit. Then the third week, I did exactly the same thing again. I put all my CVs in at every single stage door. And by the fourth week, I was offered Phantom of the Opera and My Fair Lady.
Oh, wow.
And I knew My Fair Lady was coming up. And at the time, it was Martine McCutcheon. And funny enough, Kerry Ellis was understudying in it at the time.
Yeah.
And so I knew it wasn't going to last long. So I chose Phantom, and I stayed on Phantom for about 4 years. I was on Phantom for 4 years. Did that that was a great show to do. Then I did that, and then I went over to Cyprus for a couple of years with Barry and Mary. God bless them. This is work over there. And when I come back from Cyprus, my mate, who I worked on Phantom with, he worked across the way at the Theatre Royal Haymarket, and gave me some work there. And that's where I got into because at the Theatre Royal Haymarket they would change every 3 or 4 months. So you did lots of different plays and musicals and stuff. And so and every show's different. So you might not, although you'd be on one show, the next show coming in, you might not necessarily be on it because they might not need as many crew on it and stuff like that. Yeah. So I had to find something else in between, and so I started up my own little business as well, where now I transfer people's old cine films and VHS tapes and camcorder tapes all to DVD. Yeah. So I've got my little business.
Martin, I even I gave you a load of DVD. The DVDs and said to you, can you put it? Yeah. That's a lovely bit. But you live that close back up to us now after Lowestoft.
No, I live in Lowestoft now because you know, remember Nikki from the dining room?
Yeah,
I've always been great friends with Nikki, and they bought a house, so I rent their house, and I've got the house to myself and I rent that, and my business is doing really well. I advertise on I've got my website. I go on the Facebook pages and do it and also as well because I get loads of work from all over the country. So I
don't know how many times. I don't know how many times I've rang you and you're in the middle of editing something or catching up. You get so many people when your cine films, videos.
And mine, I mean, hopefully you're going to show the video at the end of the program, but you'll see my studio. My cine film scanner is great. I mean, that's the most popular stuff I get is the cine films, and basically the film, the machine, what it does. Although the cine film wasn't filmed in high definition, but this machine scans it in HD, and if your film is good quality, it brings it up really nicely. And on the computer, I can edit it and color correct it, and I love it. I can sit there for hours and hours and hours doing it. You know what I mean?
No, you certainly do. You certainly do, and I'd like to thank you for bringing people like Andrew on. And
no worries. I had some great stories about the West End, but I'll have to leave that for another day.
It will be another day, Martin, because we're coming to 5 o'clock. You have met some really great people, though, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, show some pictures.
Speedy was talking about Sir Nicholas Heitner. It was Speedy that introduced me to Sir Nicholas Heitner. I mean, if you know anything about theatre, he's an absolute theatre legend. He obviously did the History Boys, but he was the original director of Miss Saigon, and we had a cast change at the Theatre Royal Haymarket, and because Sir Nick Heitner was the the director of One Man, Two Governors, and I said, "Look, Speedy, you got to get me to meet Nick Heitner. I'd love to meet. It's a legend." And lo and behold, in one of the bars after the show, Nick Heitner come up with Speedy and said, "Hi, Martin. How are you? Nice to see you. Are you enjoying the show?" And I had a photograph with him, and he signed my Miss Saigon stuff, and great. Yeah, I mean, just that was one of the great things. Yeah, love it.
Well, you met some great people, including people you was friends with Michael Ball. You chauffeured for Michael.
Oh yeah, how Michael Ball came about was when I was on Phantom of the Opera. They used to do Sunday shows, and they used to get the crew in on the Sunday to do the Sunday show. But because I'd only just started, I never really got picked for it. So and before the show, we always used to go in the pub and have a few beers before the show. And Callum, who was the MD, and a load of other musicians, was always in there. And I got talking to Callum one day, and he was the MD of Phantom. And I never realised that he was Michael Ball's MD. And I said, "Oh, yeah, I want to do some Sunday work and all that sort of stuff." He said, "Well, I'll tell you what," he said. "You know, I work." That's when he told me about the Michael Ball's MD and stuff. He said, "Well, when we do around London, because he does like special events and special appearances and stuff like that, why don't you just drive us? Come to my house, pick up my car, and he said, Michael will be there, and we'll just go to the venue. You can join." And I did it for about 3 or 4 months. I used to like every other Sunday sort of thing, and go to Callum's house, pick his car up, and drive Michael to wherever he want to be. And it was great. He was a lovely fella, Michael. And I did 2 weeks with him on Hairspray, actually. I did 2 weeks on Hairspray, and but yeah, Michael, lovely. He's a lovely fella, Michael. And
You're very fortunate because leaving us, you actually went on to some tremendous.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did some great stuff. But have we got time? Have we got time to tell you the ghost story?
Go on, tell me the ghost story.
Well, this is quite funny actually. Where you've not seen the video, but the video was taken out one show. We took out Waiting for Godot with Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, and we was putting in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Right now, that program was done on Sky Arts 1, and on one particular show they talked about the ghost, the theatre ghost, right? And no, there's a bloody theatre ghost. Get out of it. Anyway, during one night on Waiting for Godot, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart was on stage. And all of a sudden, he just stopped what he was doing. And we were thinking, what's he doing? Anyway, at the interval, we come up and said, "Patrick, what happened?" He said, "Did you not see that bloke walk up on the stage and walk from the stage to the front of us backstage?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Yeah, the bloke in the big top hat and the long coat." And what are you talking about, mate? Anyway, so it turns out that this is a theatre ghost that people see, and he apparently he was an old theatre manager of 200 years ago, right? But another time, my mate who was a stage crew, he's seen this guy walk up to the fly floor. Now, the only way to get to the fly floor is up a spiral staircase, and there's no way out, no way down except coming up and down this spiral staircase. And he's seen this bloke walk. He says, "I've just seen this bloke walk up the top of the stairs in a long hat and a long coat." And, and anyway, and when he come back down, he said, "I'm sure I've just seen some guy walk up to the fly floor, and I don't know where." Anyway, so he come back down, and when we told him it was the ghost, he went, "Oh my God!" He was like, he couldn't believe it. He was shaking. But the funny thing is, this theatre ghost, his name was John Potter.
Oh my gosh, you can't believe it.
No, yeah. Because in the theatre, there's a big write-up of like the theatre history, and they talk about, and this John Potter was an ex-theatre manager of over 200 years ago, And Sky Arts, when they did the 8 episodes of Working in West End, they did the thing about that. The theatre manager was a ghost, John Potter, funny.
Martin, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, great, mate, great.
And to Abigail and to Jack. I'm going to leave it for everyone to have a little look, because who knows at home what you've got. You might be sitting there going, I wanted the baby pictures. I've got my granddad. I've got pictures of the old family, the great-granddad pictures on Cinefilm. I'm going to let people watch that. to see if they're not going to use it. It's something that they can use.
And let people know that I've got a courier service with UPS. So wherever you are, it's a door-to-door service with UPS, courier delivered next day. So
it's a pleasure. Martin, it's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you, mate. Thanks a lot. Speak to you soon.
Take care, mate. And a big thank you to everyone. Have a lovely weekend. We hope you'll be back on Monday. I hope my arm won't feel as heavy. Goodbye. Whose birthday? Drink for my birthday tomorrow. Teresa Walker. Have a lovely birthday. Have a lovely day. So Jacko, he gets everywhere. JP, you know it, mate. Lots of thank you to everyone. It's been really fun. Lots of really interesting. Have a safe, healthy. Get more injections. You all get them. And I'm going to leave you with a little video of this business of movies for life or memories for life from Martin's little company. So there we go. I'm going to say goodbye to you. I'm going to hand you. Thank you, Nigel. Thanks for looking after us today. Have a lovely weekend.